We're going to have to. All right, good morning. Let's call the meeting to order. Today is April the 12th. We're here at the maintenance building for our regular prayer. We're going to say pledge of allegiance.
Father, we thank you so much for your blessings, and Lord, we remember that today, over 2,000 years ago, you gave your Son, Jesus, to die for us. Lord, we remember, we thank you for loving us enough that you sent his Son, that we would be reconciled back to you. And I ask you today that your presence be with us this meeting. I ask you to guide us, lead us in all truth, and whatever you have us to do. We thank you for these things, Father, in Christ's name. Amen.
Amen. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. Tammy, would you call the roll, please?
Mayor Cathy?
Here.
Mr. Pollock?
Here.
Mr. Smith?
Yeah, here.
Ms. Call? Here. And Mr. King?
Here. Thank you. Citizens' comments. Moving right to our agenda. I think everyone knows the protocol. Floor is open for those who want to come up. Yes, ma'am.
Hi. Brought some notes with me so I'd stay on track. I know y'all's time is valuable. My name is Carrie Rusko. I live at 102 North 26th Street. I wanted to talk about a couple of things today. First of all, I want to tell you why I moved here. When I was stationed here at Tyndall, going to be told I was going to be coming here to Tyndall. I chose Mexico Beach to live because of its charm, its atmosphere, and the quietness of this town. And I know that when I hear people talking to town on our Mexico Beach Strong website, one of the fears, and my fear, is that the face of Mexico Beach will change with some of the development that's going on. Now, with that said, I understand we need revenue, and I understand that we need development. I get that. So we have to balance keeping the charm with the development. One idea that I had with some input from others was to create a historical district in this town with its own little board, make sure that we keep some sort of ensure that the face of Mexico Beach stays the same, at least in one area. I'm not just a good idea fairy, and if you need somebody to be on that board, I'd volunteer myself if you were interested in that. But you can create some revenue just by living in that historical district. I don't know what that would be. I mean, I've lived here a year and a half. I'm guessing somewhere in the 26th or 38th or that area would seem like a logical choice. But that would be one way to ensure a little bit of charm stays within this town. My other topic, not going to be a surprise to some of you, is the Sweetwater development. I am vehemently opposed to the 26th Street entrance. I understand that is not as likely now as the Parker Park Road entrance. I'm also strongly opposed to that one as well. It's going to create a lot of noise for the residents that are on 26th Street that is already there because of 98. With that said, I feel like this council, the city, y'all hold the cards with these developers, and if you tell them they got to come up with 2 entrances or 3 entrances at the most, they will do that. They can't say, well, we don't know how, we don't know the way. There's a way. There's a way to do it without disrupting the current residents. I've been in other towns and cities with developments that have 1,000 homes in them. They've got 3 entrances. Not a problem. Another concern that I have is if you also choose to continue forward with the 5 entrances, it's pedestrian traffic to the beach access through those roads. I've lived here a year and a half, and in that year and a half, the traffic on 98 has already increased exponentially. Getting across the street used to take 30 seconds. Now it's a minute and a half or 2 minutes, and there's just going to be more traffic as the development comes in. So I don't know what the solution there is, a crosswalk at those streets, something, but you will have issues with that, plus just the people walking up and down the street to get to the beach. Going back to the Parker Park workshop that we had a few weeks ago, one of the ideas I think Ms. Kenny had was golf carts and logistics with regard to that. I have driven up and down 98 and seen streets where the golf carts are lined up, where people have come and just lined up to go to the beach. I live, like I said, I mean, it's self-serving, I understand that, but it's right there by 98, and if this development comes in, they're gonna drive right down the road and park right in front of my house, and everybody else is on 26th Street. So I would hope that as the city moves forward with this, that we look at some sort of parking for golf carts, whether it be at the park itself, or I don't know what the FDOT rules are, if you can park on the side of 98 on the next to the sidewalk. I don't know, the little parking spots specifically for golf carts. One thing that Mr. Baber and I we talked about this a few weeks ago, was that we have the chance as a city to have a clean slate here, and I think that is an accurate statement that he made. And I would just say that we have a clean slate. Let's take the time and the foresight to think about the problems that are going to come out of this development with regard to traffic, whether it's pedestrian, golf cart, or vehicle traffic. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Oh, I'm sorry. Mayor and Council, just two quick ones here. Has St. Joe Company ever gotten back about the road entrance to the boat ramp? I mean, they're putting the apartments in right now, and the only road I see is the one with doing all the construction. And they were supposed to, remember they were supposed to do a traffic study?
They were denied. They're going back again.
They were denied that? But DOT?
DOT.
Well, that's insane.
I
just
asked them
don't
for a formal,
understand how.
they haven't given me the formal denial yet.
Excuse me.
The FDOT has not given them the formal
Oh,
denial,
okay.
so we're waiting on that.
And the second one, last two planning and zoning board meetings I went to, and I asked them about how often they review old plans that are in there, land development codes and everything else. And I guess they're thinking now about trying to relook at that. You know, everybody keeps talking about, well, she has all your developments, that you're commercial, tourist and all that. You know, maybe it's time to look at that and change that to where it's just commercial and not commercial residential, back and forth. And the other thing, I don't know what the legalities of it are, but you got a lot of wetlands around here. And I asked them about it, they didn't know. All your property, say you have 100 acres, you allow 2 houses per acre. That's 200 houses. 50 of it's wetlands, but you're still allowed 200 houses. Why isn't that subtracted from it? Like, so you only allow 50 houses. Is there a way to do that instead of telling people the wetlands just doesn't count, you can still build if you're allowed 2 houses per acre, 100 houses, 100 acres, that's 200 houses. Can that be
That's
changed?
customarily used by the volume of the land that you own, whether it's wetlands or not, because if wetlands can be mitigated. So you could count it as usable property if you went through the right, if you mitigated it and bought from the land bank. Well, you could actually make that usable land.
So there's no way to change that and say, you can only build, like you say, it's customary. Is there a way to change the customary when you can't do that? I mean, that would slow down some of your development. Because you got the other ones that down here by Killa Seafood back there that plowed down all them acres that looking on building in there. And that was mostly wetlands back in there. So that's going to be another development that's coming
That is
in.
definitely.
But anyway, just a suggestion. If you can look at that and see if it's legalities or whatever. That'll slow it down somewhat. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Forgive me for my voice today. I want to address kind of an old, new type business here.
Who are you?
Please, name and
Oh, Michelle
location.
Miller, 716 Oleander Avenue. I have a question, basically, and y'all can mull this around. At 932 15th Street, the stockpile of dirt has been kicked around, and we've had a lot of discussion regarding this. Residents are required to get a permit, from my understanding, to bring in dirt to their property. But this is a stockpile of dirt that's probably as high as this room, on about 4 acres of land. And I would, as a resident, would like to know how is this being allowed without them going through the proper processes.
Anyone else? Any other citizens' comments? Okay. Anybody here want to address anyone at this table want to address 15th Street? Okay. To answer your question, I think it would be advisable to go to the administrator and get have you done that?
We talked briefly.
Did you not get an answer?
Actually, one answer I did get is that the property owners knew the risk of putting it there, and they were willing to take it. To me, that's saying, go on and do what you want to do, and ask for forgiveness later. So I don't think we operate that way.
All right, moving to the consent agenda.
Mr. Mayor, I'll address that part if you'd like.
No, I only asked, I didn't say, I said, does anyone here want to address it?
Okay, understood.
All right, moving to the consent agenda, the minutes, we have one set of minutes for March 22nd. And I will entertain a motion for approval by consent if there are no additions or corrections.
Make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Okay? We have a motion and a second. Any opposition? Motion carries 5-0. Let the record reflect. All right, we're going to move to our regular agenda items. And number one is the Mr. Cox. Hey, you are on the front row. MBAR update. Go ahead.
Good morning, Mr. Mayor.
Good morning.
And City Council. I've got a picture here I just want to put in front of you that we'll be talking about. Four copies, so please share it. Okay. I'm Bob Cox, President of the Mexico Beach Artificial Reef Association, also known as MBRA. I'm here to give you an update on what the MBRA is doing, especially coming up at the end of this month. We have a reef deployment scheduled with 35 structures, and of those structures, there's 29 that are memorial reef structures. So memorial reefs are becoming more popular, and we're seeing a huge surge in that over the past year. So that's good for the community, because we're taking care of people's loved ones in some fashion to memorialize them, but also the community's getting a better fishery and recreational resource out of it. So we're going to be deploying those reefs with Walter Marine. Probably right now, we're looking at the 25th of April if weather holds good for us. They've got 2 projects ahead of us that they're going with 2 vessel loads that they've got to do before they get to us. And then weather permitting, we'll be doing ours on April 25th. The load consists of 6 super reefs with an ecosystem inside. And that picture I handed to you there, that's a new version of the super reef. That's called, that big pole on one corner sticking up 10 feet is called, what they're calling an amberjack pole. And if you've ever been out on reef structures and noticed people like wrecks and other high structures out there, the amberjack like to congregate around these higher objects in the water. And part of the reason for that is when you're out there in the water, I see it all the time, you have what's called thermoclines. And in those different thermoclines, currents can be run in different ways and carry different nutrients. Well, those fish like that, the small forage fish will be up in that water column on top of the structure feeding, and that's what brings the larger predators in. So this is a new version of the super reef that we're trying. The reef, each one of those structures weighs 18 tons. They've got a 15-foot base, triangular shaped base, and the overall height of that structure will be 25 feet. And then we also have 24 Florida limestone artificial reefs going down. Those are the 8-foot versions of that super reef, smaller, that we've been using for many years. We also have 4 group reefs going in along with 1 ecosystem. Total project cost is approximately $140,000. And the weight of the material total is 166 tons. It's 1 full vessel load. Any questions about the deployment? Okay. Next thing I would like to address, most of you probably already know, we got our fishing tournament coming up this year on July 30th. The new tournament director, Mitch Coleman, and his committee have decided to move the date into July so we don't have as many problems as we traditionally had in August with hurricanes. So, like last year, the hurricane canceled our tournament. So, that a lot of people brought up the good ideas. Basically, the date is set for what used to be the old Mexico Beach Marina Offshore Classic. So we've got that coming up. And also coming soon, hopefully FWC will have us in a new agreement. We're getting some more notifying, some of the early restoration dollars from the BP oil spill. The amount's undisclosed. We don't know what it will be until we see the agreement. But it could be anywhere from $100,000 to over $1 million, like the first phase we did about 4 years ago, which was $1.5 million.
Nice. Awesome.
Okay, that's all I've got for today. Anybody got any questions for me?
You mentioned that some of these reefs were going to have an ecosystem. What do you
Yeah, the ecosystem. We've got a lot of them out there. They're round disc on a pedestal, stacked like a lot of people call them pancake reefs. I'm sorry I didn't bring a picture of that there. But what we do is inside these larger structures, instead of having a big, open space, we put something with small crevices and small spaces that accommodate small forage fish. And in that empty space there, and we found out by nesting those inside, the structure becomes more, productive as far as a fishery. Also, lobsters, crabs, and octopus like to get up inside of those. So it's more. It makes it more complex and diverse, like you would see on a natural reef.
Just a comment, Bob. You guys have done such a great job over the years, and I just want to say thank you on behalf of the city of Mexico Beach for all you do and all you continue to do. And we sure hope you're still diving a bunch, right? Checking on stuff.
Oh yes.
Okay.
Weather and time permitting.
Yeah, right. Well, yeah, weather's been tough for getting anything out there. But one other quick question, just as a side note: how big are these windows in this right here? It's got to be pretty big. In other words, the Goliath grouper get through there?
Oh yeah, Goliath grouper even see those smaller windows, probably about at the middle up there. A Goliath can get through those.
Golly. All right. So they like sucking the black sea bass out of our pancake.
Actually, they might be able to do that, but there's times where the glass. I talked to Professor Koenig at SSU, and he has been studying the Goliath groupers for many years. Actually, as Goliaths get bigger, their appetite goes down because their metabolism slows down. And usually when they eat, they're going to eat something big, and that will last them quite some time. I've tried feeding a Goliath grouper that I was swimming by a wounded fish that was on the bottom. Didn't touch it. But then again, sometimes I've seen them where, they'll take a fish from a spear fisherman.
Well, I'm having to try to take mine from you, so.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
And as we said before, following up with Darrell, that you have a great organization.
Okay.
Appreciate everything you do.
Thank you, and I appreciate the city's support, especially the city administrator. He's doing a great job helping us out.
Good.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
All right, moving on. Department reports. Doug, that's you.
Well, let's start
Well,
with
the
the,
financial is first.
yeah, Debbie down the line.
Debbie, you with us?
I'm here.
All right. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. Okay, so everybody should have a copy of the February 2022 report. It's on page 2, page 1 just as a highlight. So the revenues are on track. We actually received another $131,000 last week from Bay County for property tax. So we're closed the gap on that $204,000. So about $74,000 is left to collect. And we're a little bit behind on the sanitation, water and sewer, but that will uptick in the summer months. So that's usually how that works. And then on the types of revenues, if you want to further break down, you can see we've collected quite a few in building permits. So that's why you see a negative number. If you look on the graph or the lines below where it says a negative 51%, we've just collected a lot more in building permits than we budgeted. And then the miscellaneous is, we're over there because we collected that insurance money that we didn't budget for, and then some of those donations that were used for the pickleball court from Duke Energy. So those were some items we didn't budget for, but that's what the overage represents. Is there any questions about revenue?
I think we're good.
Okay. There's a third page where we have the expenditures. They're pretty much by department. There is a couple adjustments that are going to be made during our mid-year budget revision. We had that new position that we didn't originally budget for. So that's what some of those salaries are over, that negative number represents for the city administrator, and then some of the overages in the city clerk are for salaries. So we're going to adjust those during the budget amendment and transfers. Everything else looks pretty good. There's the canal is probably going to have to look at it a little closer. And one of the issues that's going to face us is the high cost of diesel fuel. It's probably going to impact the budget for all of the diesel vehicles, especially with the dredge and the garbage truck. So that's something that we'll have to adjust probably pretty high when we do our budget revisions and for the next year's budget. Any questions about expenditures?
Well, not yet. Go ahead.
Okay. All right, and then the next page is our cash balance. If you can see on the pool cash represents all of the funds and the designated accounts. So there's 9.2 million. Of that 9.2 million, 4.8 is for the designated accounts, which we have below. And I talked to Doug about discussing some uses for maybe in the future for some capital. So we're going to be talking about that when we do budget prep. And then the Hurricane Michael and General Fund, that 4.4 million. That's an active number that is going towards ongoing projects that are FEMA funded and we're prepaying. So all of that 9.2 represents restricted or designated funds and our operating cash. And then the final page is what is ongoing for financial cash. Obviously, we talked about the budget adjustments, and then Doug and I have already talked about moving forward with some ideas for prep for the budget fiscal year 2023. The FEMA reconciliation is continuing. Once we start the fiscal year 21 audit, which is the next task, we'll have a really good handle when that's completed on the actual reconciliation of all the FEMA projects. Continuing on with I had to stall or had to put on hold the fiscal year 21 year-end prep because of the fiscal year 20 audit working, so I picked that back up. As I mentioned, working on the fiscal year 23 budget prep. I submitted the state's local government financial reporting information, the AFR, that's required every year, doing the quarterly report, and then working on the city's fixed asset inventory review and depreciation schedule. And that's it.
Hey, Debbie, this is Daryl, of course. Can you hear me?
Yes.
We were talking about millage rates and possibility, and I know this is early, but does it still look like we're online doing well enough to probably bring those millage rates down a little bit more this coming time around?
It all depends. If you're going to keep the status quo, I'm pretty sure we're going to have enough come online that, like we lowered it by $500,000. if you want to keep everything as the baseline of this year, you probably will be able to lower, but if you wanted to buy capital items or new employees or funding, something that's in addition to what we budgeted this year, then that's a different discussion. So we'll have to see where we are with those.
Okay, thank you.
Any questions for Debbie? Debbie, another good, not only report, but the layout is awesome.
Yes.
Oh, good.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, you take care.
Thank you. You too.
All right.
She's doing a great job catching us up with everything and keeping us all in the loop.
Absolutely.
Proud to have her.
Public Works?
Mr. Davis.
Good morning, council and everyone.
Good morning.
First thing I want to say is Public Works has got off to a good spring break. We've been able to accomplish a lot of things in the last month and a half. Everyone probably noticed Friday the canal was sanded over from these crazy storms that we had. I want to say this, the guys went out yesterday, very hard work, and opened that canal. Last night about 7:30 I got a text from Troy, canal was wide open. I let everyone know, sent out a group text, canal's back open, we back open for business. So just want to give kudos to them guys, they worked really hard yesterday to make that happen. Normally it would have took probably 2 to 3 days, but Troy was wanting off today, so usually when he wants off, I can get it open for the week. But anyway, I just want to say those guys done a great job.
They sure did, all of them.
Yes, sir, they do. Also, if you've been down to the boat ramp lately, you'll notice the overflow parking coming along really good. We got the milling yesterday from down at Lafayette where they milled, and we're able to get the road coming out. So what we got, we go in, park, and come out a different way so it doesn't congest all the traffic going in and out of the boat ramp. So we're able to get that done, and that's looking really good. You'll notice going into the boat ramp, you see a big wood frame outside the road. That's our new boat ramp, public boat ramp sign that's going up there. We'll have that up probably by the end of the week, so that's coming along good. Wanted to give an update. FDOT finished the sidewalks. Mayor
Did a great job.
Yeah, all that's done. The only thing they got left right now is down at 15th Street in front of the motel there on the corner. They've got to clean those 2 stormwater runoff holes out. They're going to do that probably sometime this week or first of next week. Weather kind of held up, but we'll get that done also. Address the paving issues. Doug, he got with me this morning. I think Pigot's going to be finishing up pretty much today. We're going to put a punch list in. So if anybody on their driveways have drop-offs or anything like that side of the road that was messed up, we're going to put a list together to present them to get all that done before they get out of here, probably within a week or so. So we're addressing that also. Bears in the dumpsters again, guys. We got two dumpsters that the city maintains for anybody that'd like to put trash in them. We do ask that if you use those dumpsters, one's at 7th Street under the Palms Park, the other's at the boat ramp, please make sure you latch those dumpsters back. Without closing them, the bears are getting in them and they're screaming the garbage from one end to the other. The other thing, we trimmed the palm trees. If you notice down on Canal Parkway this week, all of those are being cut, looking good. So we're actually off to a good start, making a lot of good progress. Want to welcome one of our employees back, Andy Matinchek is back to work. He's been out for a pretty good while with an illness, so all of y'all know Andy. When you see him, welcome him back. He's doing a lot better, and we're glad to get him back, get his skills back. And the last thing I've got, I want to say it's been a pleasure working with Mr. Darrell and Miss Sharon. Hate to see you guys go. Y'all been an asset for the city of Mexico Beach, and it's just been great to have y'all been able to work with you on things and all that contributed to the city. Other than that, Public Works is doing what we want to do. If anybody's got any questions, I'll be glad to answer them.
Wasiesta. I noticed when they mill and then they pave, there's a large gap between the shoulder or the grassed shoulder of the road. I say it looks to be 2.5, 3 feet. We're gonna do something there.
So they
Like at least,
They called me late last night to say they finished about 7:30 also, and they would be back this morning to start addressing those. I believe that's in front of Bubba's house there as you go in.
yeah, seems to be in that one area, it's just a rather large.
That road, we're very lucky to save that road. We were gonna lose the clay under base and have to rebuild an entire road, so they were able to actually fix that for us. So I'm grateful that they were able to handle it. They promised me that they'd come back and clean it up. If it's not to our liking, we'll come back and address it as well. I don't plan on putting sod back, sir, but we are gonna make sure that the clean it up is, it looks.
Yeah, I mean, it looks
It
unfinished, let me put it out.
They're coming back today. They promised me they were coming to clean, they were gonna start cleaning up over there first.
Question for Public Works? Thank you, Tom.
Yes, sir. The last one is the Atkins report. Ryan is here from Atkins.
I've seen it.
Yes.
Good morning.
Just a couple updates. Biggest one, over the last week and a half, 2 weeks, we got about $1 million in payouts on projects. So that's big. Always good to get more money coming in, and we've got more in the queue. So hopefully that'll keep flowing. We did another item to take you on. We did get a final, fully executed contract agreement. We're going to call it with FDEO. For the beach renourishment project. We had a kickoff meeting with them and are trying to get some initial stuff just rolling up on that project, working on environmental exemptions and that kind of thing with the DEO folks. On the dredging, we're looking about 80% complete, so just wanted to give you an update on that. We're getting to the end game here, so hopefully should have that done here before too long. And then we had an RFI come through from FDEM on the regional stormwater detention project, the HMGP project, which I take as good news because that means they're looking at it, and I think we're pretty close to hopefully getting some news on whether or not that one will be awarded. So that's good as well. Those are my couple of updates. Any questions from any of you guys?
Have you heard anything from the folks on the police and fire?
We talked to Jose from the state yesterday. He said that the guy who's kind of running point on it has been out the last week or two, but they're trying to get the CRC folks, who are the ones who have to rework the project, they call it, where they're rewriting the scope and all of that. So they're working on it, but we haven't gotten anything new in terms of what our scope looks like or what our dollar figures are yet. But we're calling basically every week and just saying what's going on.
Thank you.
Yeah.
We sent our response.
We don't have a response to send at the moment.
They withdrew the
they definitely withdrew
the need for us to respond.
Yes, exactly. We don't have. They told us in talking to them that they were going to CRC was going to handle.
And we're going to those balls back in CRC.
Yep.
We did express yesterday our concerns, as that's where it got hung up for 6 months
That's
last time.
exactly right. That's the only reason I asked.
We pushed that hard with Jose and those folks yesterday with the DN.
And that's why we keep asking, because we don't want it to get held up. But in terms of, we don't have any action on our part until they say to us, here's what we're proposing for the scope.
Do you know off the top of your head on the dredging, what day? I think they didn't have many days left on the permit.
I don't know it off the top of my head, but I know we got to get it done by the 25th. Yeah, we have to get it done by then. Yeah, it's going to be cutting it close.
They're doing good.
Yep.
Any questions? Ryan, thanks.
Yep.
Okay. Moving on. Number 3, Arbor Day proclamation.
So I'll kick that off a little bit and then turn it over to the clerk. Mr. Mayor, this is a step in the process towards us becoming a tree city, which opens up some doors for many more grants for us and the possibility to continue with the Arbor Day Foundation with several other steps in this process. So it's one of those things that's good for us. It's also acknowledging the day that we have set aside as Arbor Day for Mexico Beach on April 30th. It's a Saturday at Parker Park. We received 250 very nice sized 3-gallon pot trees that we're going to be giving away that day to the residents of Mexico Beach. And this is just to further push our process forward for what trees do for our community, as well as making it pretty too. So with that, if there's any questions, if not, I'll turn it over to the clerk.
Tammy, if you would read the proclamation, please.
The City of Mexico Beach official proclamation. Whereas in 1872, the Nebraska Board of Agriculture established a special day to be set aside for the planting of trees. And whereas this holiday called Arbor Day was first observed with the planting of more than 1 million trees in Nebraska. And whereas Arbor Day is now observed throughout the nation and the world. And whereas on October the 10th, 2018, Hurricane Michael made landfall in Mexico Beach as a Category 5 hurricane, destroying an estimated 70 to 80% of the trees in its path. And whereas trees can be a solution to combating climate change by reducing the erosion of our precious topsoil by wind and water, cutting heating and cooling costs, moderating the temperature, cleaning the air, producing life-giving oxygen, and providing habitat for wildlife. And whereas trees are a renewable resource, giving us paper, wood for our homes, fuel for our fires, and countless other wood products. And whereas trees in our city increase property values, enhance the economic vitality of business areas, and beautify our community. And whereas trees, wherever they are planted, are a source of joy and spiritual renewal. Now, therefore, I, William A. Cathy, Mayor of the City of Mexico Beach, Florida, do hereby proclaim April the 30th, 2022 as Arbor Day in the City of Mexico Beach, Florida, and I urge all citizens to celebrate Arbor Day and to support efforts to protect our trees and woodlands. And further, I urge all citizens to plant trees to gladden the heart and promote the wellness of this and future generations.
Thank you.
Nice job.
So, this is our, to my knowledge, our first Arbor Day.
Inaugural, if you will.
Inaugural.
Did you mention who was over that included?
So, Mr. Lane, I was going to talk about it a little bit later. Yes, Jim Langdell from the Langdell Corporation. So, with a beautiful flyer advertised, he was gracious. He potted them for us. He picked them and potted them and bring them down to us for free. And we're going to give them away to the residents of Mexico Beach on that day. It's going to be a great day.
You know what kind?
I should just ask that. I have, there's 3. There's 3 different types. They're going to be good sizes. I'll get some pictures for you. I don't have them off the top of my head. I'm sorry. Cypress, something, pine, something else. So I just don't want to mess it up. We'll be advertising that.
All right.
They're free.
All right. Thank you.
Next item is the Dewberry contract renewal, sir.
Number 1.
We had established a contract with Dewberry for 3 years, which expired at the end of this past year. We're moving to do an extension, which is included in here for they have an option for 2 one-year terms. This is the first year of those 2. I recommend approval.
Okay. This is the very straightforward and exercising a 1-year extension for part of the original contract. Is there any comments about the Dewberry contract? Anybody have any comments from the floor? I mean, okay. Chair will leave entertain discussion, comments, questions, or motion.
I'll make a motion to accept the Dewberry contract for 1 year, 2 years. 2 years.
1 year.
I second.
We have a motion and a second to accept the renewal or extension. Any questions? Call the roll, please.
Mayor Cathy?
Yes.
Mr. Pollak?
Yes.
Mr. Smith?
Yes.
Ms. Call?
Yes.
Mr. Key?
Yes. Thank you. Moving to number 5 on our agenda is a fence variance at 206 Colorado. We'll open the public hearing for that. Is there anyone here to speak?
So it's not 206, it's 426. somebody was moving back in my own property. So I just spent $20,000 out of my own pocket because of the delivery trucks turning around in my property, people parking my property, people driving through my property. I had no trespassing, private property in the middle of my property that drove through it and that drove it into the ground. So now I'm okay, I got like 2 sides of my fence is done. The third side, I have a variance in there to extend, there's a 140 feet long part, I extend the 6 feet high part by 70 feet. So I was in the planning meeting, the police was here, they said they only require 20 feet of view. Somebody in the planning meeting said 45 feet, so 70 feet would be still okay. I also have people walk in my yard, they walk into my garage, and especially when they come back from the beach in the afternoon, or they come back from their boat ride and pick up some more liquor, then they walk into my garage and check my garage out. I can't even leave my garage door open anymore. People crawling down the window, sticking their heads out, looking in my garage. People letting their dogs shit in my garage. When I approached them, the last time it happens, number one, they told me I should pick it up myself, and number two, they flipped their cigarette butts in my face. So, you know, I had to do something. I had to protect myself. And I think that there should be, you know, I know there is some concern about safety, and I fully agree with this, but I said there would be a possibility to put some speed bumps in this area. You have the papers here right now, so instead when they empty out their machine in the afternoon, instead of throwing it on the side of the road, they can just throw it at both sides of the market and create a speed bump. But I guess this is not a possibility because there is no speed bumps in Mexico Beach. Now the other thing that I come up with would be another possibility. You do use stop signs in Mexico Beach. Why can you not put another stop sign? Like you got Colorado stop sign, Mexico on the 5th Street stop sign. So in this case, they both have to stop, and if both of them keep going, if they run into each other, they maybe run into each other with 5 or 10 miles an hour. So no big deal. A little bit of scratching. I think also, if you have a stop sign there, it would help the city not to have a lawsuit in this stretch of the street, of the fish street. Because the other problem you have is there's constantly RVs, trailers, boats, parked, construction equipment on this side of the fence, blocking also the view from Colorado into the 5th. So there's right there a safety problem also. So even if you give me the fence, it doesn't matter. I guess it matters to me, but really you still have a problem with cars and RVs and everything blocking the view from Colorado into 5th anyway. And then there's another issue. There is an 18-wheeler that comes every once in a while that delivers material to the Mexico Beach pave company, what's located in the back of the fence. And he comes in right after the closing hours of the stores, and he parks right there, but he lets his truck running all night long. So, and then I measured noise levels up to 115 dB in front of my garage, but it's far more away from the 50 feet that actually you require in your handbook from the city. 115 dB for about 15 minutes. This is almost double than what your allowance is for a residential area.
All right. Anything else?
Do you have any questions for me?
I don't at this time.
Okay.
Thank you. Are there others? Yes, sir.
Council, Rock Creek, Colorado. I live 2 houses down. And have you guys been out there? I'm sure you have, at the store and everything else. And ain't the Sleepy Hollow it used to be. Since the grocery store went in, the liquor store went in, it's a lot of traffic there now. And it's going to get worse. The more houses come in, it's going to be more traffic. I go down through that stop sign in Colorado every day. With my camper, my big dually truck, the wife's Jeep, my golf cart. Where it comes up to the intersection, we got a stop sign. The fence that he wants to do does not hurt the view whatsoever. All he wants to do is go 3 feet up. He's already got that approved for the whole 140-foot length, 30 feet. He just wants to come back from the other direction, 6 feet high, which would be more in front of his house's garage, to block across the street. During the summertime, the vehicles are parking on Colorado because they can't even get up there. There's only like 15 parking spots in front of the post office, the liquor store, the other store. People come in there, the lawn equipment guys come in, everybody else comes in with trailers, there's nowhere to park. They have to park in the road. And when you park in the road, you come to the intersection, you can't see anything. That has nothing to do with the fence. The fence will not block the visibility whatsoever. Mark, the deputy, last week was at the P&Z meeting, and he even said it's a 20-foot view. He ain't blocking anything. He's already approved for a 3-foot fence all the way down, and he just wants to put 6 foot, 70 feet from the other direction. And I guarantee you, any of you guys that had that house and lived there, you'd want to put a 10-foot fence up. I mean, this is a variance that I wouldn't want to live in that house, not with what's going on across the street. And the trucks and the traffic are there all the time. It really is a nuisance, and there's nothing you can do about it. I mean, Mark manages the store over there. He's doing a great job trying to keep it clean and everything else. When you walk in front of his house, you can't even count the cigarette butts. All these slobs drive up. They toss their butts out, even on his ashtrays up outside the store. It's ridiculous. If you walk through there, you'll see it. And I feel bad for him. I wouldn't want to live in this house. Thank you.
Carrie Rusco, 102 North 26th Street. I understand the traffic noise, so I will say as a citizen of the city of Mexico Beach, if a stop sign helps him deal with a safety issue, I'll be happy to stop at that intersection as I go to get my little groceries there. Thanks.
Rich Wolf, 232 Net. I just want to point out the obvious. I mean, he's asking for a variance, and we'll need to make a decision on that. But there seems to be a problem there. We need to look at it as a council, and the mayor, and the city administrator. There's other issues there that need to be looked at. Thank you.
Anyone else? Public hearing now. Yes, sir.
Good morning, I'm Brad Black, 1004 15th Street, that's Sea Pines. I went to take in my estimated tax return, and this had been after the meeting where the gentleman presented this before the planning board. And I feel that, yes, indeed, he needs a taller fence. Probably very similar to what he's asking for. I don't know the length, sir, but I do understand your problems. I think this is effectively what we have going on is across the street is a commercial use, and then the public right of way for the street, and then this gentleman's single family home. People are parking along the street across from the shopping center and in the right of way right adjacent to him. I think this is a perfect application of our buffer requirements in the LDR. We have a situation where effectively his side of the road is being used as a parking lot, and the parking lot is being driven by the commercial use across the street. Our LDR talks about separating intensive uses from lower intensity uses. A shopping center from a single family home. And privacy is a big thing for all of us. And I think that this is something that needs to be applied here in the city, and I think this is a very perfect application and a legal application of your zoning ordinance. And I would ask that you give this gentleman and his wife some relief.
Thank you.
Others? Okay. I'm going to close the public hearing. And we're going to move to the table for council discussion on, we have, again, what's before us is a 70 feet in length, what is now a 3-foot fence to go to a 6-foot fence, which requires a variance with the way the LDR is written. So, are there any questions?
I have some questions.
All right, go ahead.
So, Kathy's not here either. So, it's my understanding you can do 6 foot in the backyard, and when you get to the front yard, you gotta drop down to a 3-foot fence or 4? I thought it was 4.
It's 2 in the LDR, but there's a decorative option which allows for 3 foot in front. So that's where he's, on one side of his yard, he has 3 foot.
All right, so he's got fence on 2 sides right now, he's trying to put it on the third. I mean, I don't know where the front of his house is. Where's the front of your house?
It's on 426 Colorado. This is the number. Even the front door is actually just straight on between
Colorado.
50 and Colorado.
Yeah. Well, you know, I know that it's, I know your issues with people parking there. And we're, of course, dropping this back to your property line, it's not going on the right of way, because where they're parking is the right of way. They have the right to park on the right of way. Anybody in the city.
I don't complain about that.
I understand.
I'm just making you aware that they're blocking your view from Colorado into Fifth. What is a safety concern? So
Yeah, so, well, you're just asking to go up to the point where it says the fence is still 70 feet long by 3 foot high. You're gonna go all the way to the corner?
No, the whole length from the corner to where the fence stops right now, it's actually on the side of my garage, is 140 feet. And I'm asking for 70 out of the 140 feet, being 6 feet high, and then top down 3 feet, and go 70 feet long all the way to the corner.
Yeah, that's what I said. Okay. And then the 6 foot fence, are you already approved for the 6 foot fence up to that point with the 70 you're asking for?
Yes.
So he has approval, yes, sir, from the previous permit.
Yeah.
For 3 foot all the way down to the corner of his house.
Mhm.
100 foot, and then from here to back to the house is 6 foot, just like you said.
Yeah.
Half of that 140 in the front, he's asking to go to 6 foot. So instead of stepping it down, or he's asking for 6 foot here, which is obviously in his front yard.
The trees are actually on the right of way too, aren't they?
We're checking that. I actually spoke with Dewberry this morning. We're looking at where the fence placement is based on the pins. David,
Lee's here. But he didn't.
did we get anything related to where the pins were for there yet? We were talking about that today. We were actually looking at that because some of the obstructions he has, like the poles and stuff, is on city right away that needs to be backed up. So we're looking at that. Yes, sir.
It's done.
What?
I said this is already done. I moved everything in under my property.
Okay. Well, you know, I don't know exactly. It doesn't seem to me that if you stop at that 70 foot spot and do 3 foot, I don't know how that's a safety violation for anybody to see over it. What kind of fence are you going to put in that 3 foot? Is that a picket, something you see through?
What is it called?
I think it's called a box.
Shadow box.
Shadow
box.
Yeah, okay. Well, you can see through that at an angle, but you can't see straight through it.
That's right.
Yeah. Well, you know, some of the low cars may not be able to see over that. Now, that may be a consideration. You're shaking your head no, they can't see over
I
it.
had a problem in the neighborhood I was in. My wife had a Toyota MR2, which is this tall.
Okay.
No problem. You can see over 3 foot.
All right, so just a question, just to throw it out there, because, you know, I think we certainly need to try and help you get some kind of relief from the store.
I appreciate that.
And so, would you be willing to do like a picket fence where they can see through that at least? They can at least see vehicles coming? Because the stop sign goes past that just far enough to, you know, when they stop at Colorado, they're gonna need to see what's coming out of Fifth, and they would need to see through that.
Yeah, but it's still, if you look at, if you stop at Colorado, you have 70 feet backwards, so you can look into Fifth.
Yeah, I know, but if you put a fence there, you're gonna have a fence there.
Well, the fence will be only 3 feet high.
But what I'm saying is a small vehicle is not gonna be able to see over those. Some of the people and some of the vehicles that they got here, when they look, they're gonna see a fence, they're not gonna see anybody coming.
So why was this 3 foot of roof to me without having this concern?
I don't know, I don't know why, I'm just saying, I'm just trying to make something that we could probably work with or hopefully work with, is if you could do a picket fence there so they can see.
Would you like to have one side of your house having this type of fence and the other side of the house?
Well, you have a unique situation, so.
Well, yeah.
Well, all right.
Carol, can I just make a comment? Your business is right across the street from him. You ought to know where his house is.
I know exactly where his house is, Rock, and I know my business is not across the street.
Well,
It's down the street.
Yeah. Where the stop sign is, you gotta pull up to the stop sign to see it.
So you want us to, so we would, where are you gonna put a stop sign right there?
Why are you talking about putting another stop sign? I don't think that idea would even work. All I'm saying is that a 3-foot fence you can see over it, it's not gonna hurt your view. And when you come up to the corner, when somebody's sitting there with lawn equipment parked on the side of the road, you gotta go halfway out in the intersection to see around everything that's there. So it's irrelevant.
Well, it's not that equipment is sitting there all the time.
Yeah, pretty much of the time, let me tell you.
Listen, you're not on that road anymore than I am, and I'm fully aware of how much traffic's on the road. I'm also fully aware that we need that grocery store. That little store is of value. Mark does a great job of taking care of it. The liquor store and the post office, all of those things are needed and necessary, and we're fortunate to have them. And it's unfortunate that this fella has the grief that he has and people throwing cigarette butts out. Can't agree more that that's ridiculous. But then again, you know, you can't always have a perfect solution to a problem. So, you know, all I was doing was trying to sit here and figure out, is there some kind of way we can make this work and let this fellow get some relief?
Understand whatever would put you okay with 60 feet?
Okay. All right.
So
Other questions from the council? Or comments?
What do you got to say?
I was just going to say that I've been working with Mark, the manager of the market, as well as the owner of the market in the liquor store area that owned the property, about a pass-through at the top of the property so that the trucks could stay up to that far in. I have noticed as much as yesterday, the Bud Light trucks are now parking next in front of the store, not in front of his property line across the street. They're making a conscious effort to keep traffic that way. He's asked the employees to move to a different part of the parking lot so that he opens up more parking spaces for the guests, as well as that pass-through in the front could be for boats and trailer drive-through as well, so that they don't park along the side of that road and block the vision. So just on the side of the person that was talking about the store, they're making a conscious effort and they're working well with the city to keep it going forward as best as possible. I understand that the cigarettes and stuff is a different situation, but we are actively working with it.
Yeah, and I've spoke with Harry as well, and Harry is definitely considering doing that. So, and I think it would certainly help.
Yeah, I think that if you're going to start asking a variance on the fence, we've proven in the past that while you fix something immediate, you create something down the road, you create more issues than what you're looking at here. So I would like to see the city, be actively involved with the owners of those businesses and express concern. Now, if you have issues with people in your garage, we have a police department. I mean, if you have other issues on your property, then we have ways to handle that. But for the right of way, parking and those obstructions that are in the right of way, and for the commingling of our neighborhood commercial, I would be opposed to the city giving a variance until we do any and everything we can to work with, and let the owners over there know. Those folks are very agreeable and they understand. They're not somebody trying to poke somebody in the eye about the location of your house or create you a problem. So I would suggest that we go back to Harry, we go to them and say, look, we need you to take some positive action, and here, can you give us some solutions? Talk to the gentleman, go over there and knock on his door and say, hey, here's what we're planning to do, here's what they've agreed to do. And until we've exhausted that, I think a fence variance is, I'm not for doing that. Okay. So, what's before us is a fence variance. So go
I
ahead.
got one more little question here. It shows the approval of 70 foot by 3 foot high, and you want a variance of 70 foot by 6 foot high. Was the approval to start with the whole 140 by 3 foot high, and they want the variance to make it higher in that 70 foot section?
Yes.
It was approved by the city manager before me.
Okay. Let's see a little more. Okay, thank you.
Okay. Anyone else? Okay, what's before us is a request for a variance. It was denied by P&Z. So the floor is open for a motion or further discussion concerning the variance request. Or to table.
I think we should table it if we're gonna try to work on it, rather than.
Well, I would hope we would. Don't you
Yeah.
see that as a viable option?
Yes, sir.
Don't you see that going over and saying, hey, this, you know?
I would feel bad about denying something that we don't, I would say table it because we're gonna work on it. And yes, we are gonna work on it, and we understand your plight.
One item might to think about if you do table it is he's ready to put in that section of fence. He would have to probably tear it back out and put in a larger fence if he wanted to. If it got approved down the road, so he would have to hold off on process.
Well, it can go all the way up to his 84 feet by 6 feet.
That's already there.
That's already there.
Got the
Yeah.
3 foot still left to put in.
Okay. All right.
I just was going.
I mean,
Yeah.
He would have to change it.
are you making a motion to table?
I am.
We have a motion to table. Have a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Call the roll, please.
Mayor Kathy,
Yes.
Mr. Pollak,
Yes.
Mr. Smith,
Yeah.
Ms. Call,
Yes.
Mr. Key.
Yes.
Okay, with that goes that report back, gather the parties involved and see what we can come up with and see if we can help you out. Okay. Let's see. Number 6, second reading of Order 780, City Council compensation. We will have a motion to read by title only.
Make a motion to read ordinance 780 by title only.
Second.
We have a motion to second. Any comments? Any questions? Second reading. Hey.
Michelle Miller, 716 Old Andrew Avenue.
Okay.
My only question here is I'm not for or against this raise for the city. I am really, for the council, which y'all have done a great job and y'all have worked really hard. My only concerns is putting this in the middle of a budget year. I've worked for many companies and did budgets, and I had to spend a lot of money before the budget year was over. but, in order to keep my money, but I've never started adding to my, budget in the middle of the budget year. So that's my only concern I have. Y'all can do it for prayer. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Any other comments? Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any other questions from the table? Call the roll, please. I'm sorry. Read the motion to read.
Ordinance 780.
Thank you, Bob.
An ordinance of the City of Mexico Beach, Florida, increasing the compensation of the mayor and city council, providing for repeal of all ordinances or parts of ordinances in conflict herewith, providing for severability, and providing for an effective date.
Thank you. Is there a motion to approve?
I make a motion to approve, ordinance 780.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Call the roll, please.
Mayor Kathy?
Yes.
Mr. Pollak?
Yes.
Mr. Smith?
Yes.
Ms. Call?
Yes.
Mr. Key?
Yes.
Okay, and I want to comment on that. I've commented several times, but this was discussed at length when I brought this up with our finance people. And the general fund has these funds available without causing an issue. And I have been one, and I think I should say this because you have heard me say through not only this year, especially the last few years, I'm not big on budget amendments. Never have been. I preach that. But I'm also a student of our finances. So I feel very comfortable, or I would never have brought this to the table.
Can I make a comment too? Sure. I would also say, this is, I'm assuming, my last meeting, so I'm not going to get the benefit of the money. But I can tell you, if you get on this council and you do the job you're supposed to do and spend the time that you'll have to spend, it'll still not be enough money to make it. Sometimes you won't pay for your gas riding around, so I don't have a problem with it at all. I think it's way past due.
Next is ordinance 781, second reading, which is the setback waiver, which was one that was discussed at length concerning one that was done right after the storm. And it's about the sunset, so we are keeping it intact. Do I have a motion to read ordinance 781 by title only?
I make a motion we read ordinance 781 by title only.
Second.
We have a motion second. Any comments about the setback ordinance? Please read.
Ordinance 781, an ordinance of the City of Mexico Beach, Florida, extending by an additional 24 months the limited setback waiver provided by Mexico Beach City Ordinance 715, which provides for a limited waiver of setbacks to rebuild a primary structure within its pre-Hurricane Michael footprint, providing for severability, repeal, and an effective date.
Is there a motion to approve?
I make a motion we approve ordinance 781.
Second.
Have a motion second. Call the roll, please.
Mayor Kathy?
Yes.
Mr. Pollak?
Yes.
Mr. Smith?
Yes.
Ms. Call?
Yes.
Mr. Key?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. Moving to the first reading of ordinance 782, beach vending. Doug, why don't you
Yes, sir.
give us a little highlight on this just before we get into it?
So you guys put this into effect shortly after the hurricane, and now it actually expired as of December 31st, 2023. It's related to our beach vendors. We have some addresses listed within the ordinance. 719 Highway 98, which is Toucans, 903 US Highway 98, La Brisa Inn, 1701 US Highway 98 is El Governor, and 2105 US Highway 98 is the Driftwood. So those four upland buildings would have the opportunity to continue to have beach vendors, although they're not completely restored yet. It would extend this ordinance for 2 years, expiring on December 31st, 2021. 23, pardon me. December 31st, 2023.
All right, do we have a motion to read, this is the first reading, motion to read ordinance 782 by title only?
I make a motion, we read ordinance 782 by title only.
Second?
We have a motion and a second. Are there any comments, questions? Please read.
Ordinance 782, first reading. An ordinance of the City of Mexico Beach, Florida, extending the waiver of the requirements for an upland business in order to operate a beach vending business as contained in Section 5.3 of Ordinance 740 for certain already qualified businesses and providing for an effective date.
Thank you. That'll come back again at our next meeting. All right, moving to number 9 is the annexation of the 25 acres, which is directly behind us here. Doug?
I'll pass that to the city attorney.
Yes, Mayor, what we need today is a motion and a vote directing the city administrator to submit an application for annexation and to continue on with the process.
Okay. So is it as simple as that? Just the motion should be just for the annexation of the 25 acres?
It's directing the city administrator to file an application and continue on with the process. Now, there's a number of different things we have to do. We have to advertise, we have to send a letter to the county and see if they object. I don't anticipate any objection from the county. Then we have to send our whole packet to the Department of Economic Opportunity and get them to clear it, and then we can go ahead and annex the property. It's quite a little long process.
Should we say start the procedure of the annexation to the county?
It is provided.
This is our first, you telling him, directing him to go forward with it. Officially in the meeting as we're supposed to do.
All right.
I'll make a motion that we direct our city administrator to start the process of the 25-acre annexation.
Have a second?
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any questions? Yes,
Questions?
Yes, sir.
John Harrell, 43 First Street. We're new to the area, so what are we annexing the property for? Mexico Beach doesn't own it already?
No, sir. It was given to us by the St. Joe Company after the storm.
Mexico Beach does own the property, but that does not mean that it's in the city.
Oh, yeah. Well, we own it by gift from the St. Joe Company.
All right.
And we are moving our fire, police, and all the things that Michael took from us, municipal buildings, will be put back there.
Okay.
I think what misconstrued is the difference between the city owning the property and it being in the city limits.
Exactly.
So the city can own property that's not in the city limits. What they're doing is annexing it into the city.
Well, okay, when you say annex, to me, it's like you're going to another county and you're taking part of their property. But they do it differently in Virginia than Florida. So, like I said, I'm new.
There you go.
All right. Thank you very much.
You got it? All right. All right, we have a motion. Any other questions? Call the roll, please.
Mayor Kathy?
Yes.
Mr. Pollock?
Yes.
Mr. Smith?
Yes.
Ms. Call?
Yes.
Mr. Gee?
Yes.
Thank you. Moving on, number 10, stormwater bid.
Yes, sir, that one's for me. So I do have some additional staff here to help discuss this, but I'd like to point out how I got to this point. So after Michael, we had a little bit of issue with all of our stormwater, which we continue to have. We had a bid placed by UC, Gulf Coast Utility, to do the repairs to some major stormwater lines, as well as some ditch digging, cleaning out, pipe cleaning, things of that nature. The way it was bid through FEMA was in two separate kind of entities, all in one bid. Our proposal today, we're bringing to you guys to discuss it. Mr. Smith actually had the idea and pushed me in the direction to kind of figure out a creative way to move forward with this project as we continue to wait for another, who knows, from FEMA on the final review of the total $5.5 million bid that we got. So we're able to actually separate off $1.5 million, which we have to pay for up front, and we get reimbursed, but we have to pay for it up front. We met with the contractor for this, and they are amenable to splitting the notice to proceed up, so that we would actually award the bid fully, but a notice to proceed on one portion of it. What we're doing is to make sure that you understand what our plan is. The city attorney is going to draft an amendment that goes along with that doesn't put us on the hook for the whole $5.5 million. So that way we don't owe that money that we haven't received from FEMA. So it'll have something in there he may explain that says we can go forward to a certain point pending approval from FEMA. The biggest problem with this is their pricing structure was only good for 90 days, and of course FEMA's on their step 6 of 8, and it's been 5 months, so we're outside of that. So something we might have to address down the road because PVC went from $5 to $15, or those kind of things we'll be working on down the road. But the first phase of this is the ditch clean and the much needed stormwater relief that they'll provide for us in this process prior to the rainy season really kicking in. So that was my goal, was to try to get it before then. And the contractor can mobilize, get to us quickly, and we can move forward. So Ryan is here, as well as David from Dewberry, if you had anything to ask about the specifics of what they're going to do with that $1.5 million in the beginning. But what we're asking for you today is for you to authorize me to negotiate to move forward for that process that's reimbursable by FEMA, and bring back a contract, an amendment for that bid to move forward. So we won't do anything until we bring it back, but you're giving me the authority to negotiate.
Okay.
All right, so is it fair to say that what's been on the tapes, what we looked at through the cameras, are those the areas that we're addressing?
The cameras show the pipes that need to get repaired, which would be the second part of the
That's
project.
the second phase.
This is just going through and cleaning out the ditches and the pipes that remain clogged.
Okay.
Per the FEMA estimate, there's around 13,000 cubic yards of sediment that has to come out. So this would touch about 50 streets. Just to put it in perspective, it's like 700 and something dump truck loads of dirt coming out of these ditches, pipes. And that really speaks to what kind of shape we're in. 700 trucks or dump loads of dirt are in the way and not letting water flow, which is critical. So
I think that's a good plan.
I think it's a great plan.
And where they scoped it, they would dig that up and replace it, or can you say
Where they ran the camera through
Yeah.
on the second phase, pretty much they're going to replace.
replace?
Yeah, they're going to replace.
And that'll really release.
All right, so the motion, do you need a motion or just a consensus of the table to move forward?
This was a discussion, but I needed direction, so.
Yeah, I think it's a motion.
Motion, okay.
Motion and a vote.
I make a motion that we give our city administrator permission to split this contract to the amounts that we discussed to go forward with the ditch cleaning.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any further questions? Call the roll, please.
Mayor Catherine?
Yes.
Mr. Pollak?
Yes.
Mr. Smith?
Yes.
Ms. Call?
Yes.
Mr. Key?
Yes.
So we'll be bringing
That's
back
a good thing.
We'll be bringing back a contract for you guys' approval shortly.
Okay. Keep going.
All right, number 11. So this is the discussion of the boat ramp and the marina parking. We just want to kind of go over some of the needs in the upcoming season and how they've been addressed. I'd like to speak to a little bit about our pier parking lot, which has now officially been paved and striped. It's for car and truck vehicle parking only. It doesn't have any spots for boats. So now we have the overflow boat ramp parking in the back, so they can park their trailers in the back. They can park their boats overnight. They're short term, allowed by the code for 14 days. So we're trying to push traffic that way. Marty's going to put a sign at the pier about no overnight parking. Right now, Tommy's working on a replacement sign. I guess it kind of got banged up a little bit in the storm there on the pier. So we're going to draw a little more attention to it to let people know that they can't leave their vehicles there overnight, as well as trailers can't double park and things like that. So we're pushing those folks to the back of the boat ramp. It's a very nice parking lot that we just spent a lot of time getting done. Luckily, through the millings and the things that we had for the paving, worked out in our favor. And then the other part of the parking lot at the boat ramp now has the credit card machine, which is installed. To date, for 2021, we've taken in $7,600 worth of fees for passes and things of that nature. Since the credit card's been installed, it's been open for service for 10 days. We've taken in $740 just on the $10 passes. I believe it's moving along pretty well. Remember, this money goes back into our fund for the boat ramp to help keep that thing state of the art. As soon as that fishing cleaning station is officially done, the pavilion. Those things are supposed to be done by May. It's going to be state of the art over there. So we need to make sure that we keep it that way. I spoke to the city of Port St. Joe this past week related to their charging and what they do and kind of how they do their fines and how they deal with whatever the people don't pay. And he said that they actually have $176,000 in their coffers related to people paying to park at that boat ramp. Of course, it's more than ours. And that's after they've paid for so many projects that they have to have. So yeah, it is a moneymaker. It does allow us to continue to supplement the cost of that. That takes the burden away from the taxpayers to maintain that boat ramp. So the direction needs to come on enforcement. We just officially did that, the fine. How hard do you want us to push that? We've been pushing that on social media to come and get your pass at the city office for your new pass that expires every year on January 31st. So we've been pushing to get those updated. I think that's helped. The internal policies help with that. As we move across the street to the marina, we're starting to run into a problem as people start renting out more of the slips. It's kind of been on hold because we've had the dredging. It hasn't been as much rental time over there. That doesn't include, that $7,600 doesn't include any of the boat rental fees and things like that comes over there on the other side of the slips. That was just at the boat ramp. There's the number of parking spots is not sufficient for 56, Jerry, 56 slips. We've looked at a possibility of adding about 12 or 13 down. David's working on a plan down there at the end of the boat ramp as you come across 98 on the left-hand side. That's city property. I think the Adirondack Chase to be there. So we've got that drawn up, but St. Joe's actually boring underneath there right now and under the canal to get that water line off of 98. That's the goal that I'm pushing the hard since I got here to get that gone. So that's getting very close. So once they're done there, that'll open up some room that we can add some spots there. However, going down that road, until we get it repaved, so that's part of the canal upgrades, what we do for the Canal Parkway and the pavilion, so that'll get repaved later. I think there's a chance that we can pick up a few more parking spots along those tree lines right now and some of the parallel parking that we have along the side, but currently I believe there's about 10 plus, or it's about 25, Jerry? We talked about that the other day.
Not 18.
18 spots for those 55 slips, and that's pretty insufficient. So we need to be thinking about addressing that and how we could add more spots. So I just gonna look for direction from you all, because you can't really count the spots all the way down to the end by the jetty that aren't really there anymore because of the way you're gonna park for that canal pavilion. So just a little direction for me, first year here for the summer, how busy it'll get with the charter boat captains and those folks over on that other side, and is it something that we wanna look forward to or provide direction? That's kind of where I'm at.
What we're gonna use where the bathroom used to be?
In the corner right there, right beside Salt Creek.
That's ours, yes, sir. Where they had the dredging.
Well, they're staging now.
That'll be gone.
That's going to be gone. But I mean,
we do own a portion of that. Some of that is St. Joe's, but we do have a portion of that, yes, sir, right there on that corner. I don't know how many's over there. I guess is what I'm trying to say. I don't know how many spots we had at that point. So,
well, that's where the bathroom was. Well, it's no longer there.
It's not going to be there. We don't.
I mean, I bet you could get it.
Maybe 10 or 12. I have to
look.
Oh, easy. Okay, I'll check that.
And that would keep our CDC director off
Plus down there where our no parking signs is, Doug, I think we could pick up quite a few things. We need them on that end because never mind, let me just.
Go ahead.
We don't have 18 parking places, and we have 55. 29th was owned by individuals, not the city. And we have 11 parking places at the other end for the pavilion. And I didn't think we wanted them people, that's a lot of people go there for the pavilion and a bathroom and fishing. I don't think we should really count them as parking places for somebody that rents a boat slip. So all I'm asking is, and I'm going to promote our parking, we need a sign. We have nothing that really tells anybody that we are promoting the marina or parking, boat slip parking. And somehow or another, you and David or whoever, if we're going to offer our boat slips, then I believe we should come close to having a parking place for somebody. And the mayor said that little, where the bathroom used to be, that'd be the other end. I really don't know what it'd be, I had to figure it up yet. I believe we need to come up with at least 50-something places to park.
Yes, sir.
We're gonna furnish them a boat slip, and I hope by this year, we're gonna at least get over half full-time, I hope.
Do we get a sign that says who to call?
Tony's ordered a sign for us, we're working on that, it says to rent the boat slips, is that what you mean? Yes, sir.
Yeah, there's no sign, I didn't, it
Tom-
used to be, I didn't realize it was gone.
It's in the works, yes, sir.
Let me add this, at the end of where the pavilion, there was one lot seaward of where that house was. It's owned by the St. Joe Company.
Yes.
If it is still owned by the St. Joe Company, and to my knowledge it is, I haven't checked, but if it is, we discussed with him, or I discussed with Bridget and with George, that they may allow us to use that lot for parking only.
Is that the one where they walk down and go to the dog side down there?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, it's the last lot on Canal Parkway.
Just past the houses.
Check with them, and maybe touch base with Bridget and see if, hey, we're getting ready, you know, pavilion's coming, we're getting ready. All it would take was some improvement, and they said they would talk to us when we got close.
Okay. Thank you for that, I didn't realize that. So, and then we'll work on with engineers along the side of the road where we have those no parking signs by the palms. I think if we're able to put up something to stop people from going over the edge, we could use several of those spots to add on when it gets repaved as well. So I'll work on that. That could add 10 or 12 more spots down that road.
Yeah, we need to exercise our, maximize maybe our, whatever we need.
Between when you go into by the welcome center to the Salt Creek right, and then you got the fire, so there's really not but 8 parking places all the way, and there's 29 boat slips. So there and then around the corner, it's just, I'm like the mayor said, we need to maximize.
Look at those spots.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
Those are potential areas that we can still use.
That's good. That's good direction.
Probably could get about 25 there where the bathroom used to be.
Yeah, it's bigger than you think.
It's bigger than what you think. That's right.
Whatever it is, more we got.
Yeah, we used to park 15 or 20 there with the bathroom, and with the bathroom gone now, we probably could get 25 there.
Okay. I can handle that.
And the sign, you're gonna get us signs that promoting our boat slips.
Yes, so we're in the works on that, on who to call and what to do for that in the website as well. And is there anything else related to the parking on the other side by the credit card machine? Anything you want me to do differently, or that processing?
What do you mean by different?
If people don't pay, should I address that? Do you want to? I'm getting some mixed conversations, so I just want to see what the direction is.
Well, I don't understand the question.
Well, when people don't pay, the code enforcement cannot run a license plate to issue a ticket. So they have to get with the sheriff's office. So we utilize our deputies and the lieutenant to write that ticket. But it's a city citation. It's not a county sheriff's ticket. It's a city citation. So Kathy can do it when she catches them not doing it in front of her. She can get their information and fill that out as a code enforcement. If they had an old sticker in the window, she can run that sticker and find out whose name that was attached to. But short of that, she can't run that ticket. So I was utilizing the sheriff's office to help with some of those, especially on the weekends when she wasn't around. And she was paying overtime. Those guys are already working. So they were just kind of looking if nobody had a ticket in the window. They were checking them out and putting the citation on there. And then they were coming to City Hall and dealing with that. Is that something that we want to continue to do for non-payment? Or is it on our system? You tell me.
We pay to get this machine put up there for people to pay. I think if they don't pay, they ought to be penalized. So,
Well, I missed the part where you said overtime.
So weekends, so Kathy would be on overtime or comp time. I would have to adjust her schedule as a code officer to work that, or we need to look at possibly a seasonal person that could do that. But then again, we run into the problem, whereas they can't run a license plate, and the sheriff can't run it for us and give us that information for the Privacy Act. So we're better off just having the deputies that are already driving through there look at them. We're not paying anything extra, and we still reap the benefits from that. I mean,
I think we do the best we can, just like the dogs on the beach. I mean, we don't catch them all.
I understand. Yeah, I'm not trying to beat them over the head like you said either, but I want to utilize that option for us, and if that's not the breadth of the council, I don't want to do that. So I just need direction.
You ready? Okay. Well, that confused me the most, and I talked to Marty, because Kathy really can't write a ticket because she has no name to put on the ticket. She has to. If it's not a sticker on it, she can't write a ticket. So when it comes down to it, we have to use our sheriff's department to enforce the people not paying for a sticker. And $10 is, to me, and we the chief going around, we should enforce our the people that don't pay. I mean, if they don't have a sticker, they can pay the $10. It's so easy now. And then go to City Hall and either buy a sticker or get a sticker. And the way we started this week was Marty's going to take the big 4-bay sign and put it at the boat ramp and telling people that it's going to be enforced.
What sign?
The sign he's got by the farmer's market sign. You know,
The marquee sign that they use.
Oh, the flashing, the
Yes,
road
sir.
sign.
Yeah. Well, temporary traffic signs. Where is he at?
I don't know. I don't make this. Okay, what you got, Mark?
It's the temporary traffic signs. I can put it down there at the boat ramp, and basically, if you see the big flashing sign down there, you'll see, and you'll know to be looking for other signs for paying your launch fees and stuff like that. It's just, boat launching fees strictly enforced is what was going to go on that sign, and then the other sign was going to be put up there and everything for short-term boat trailer parking in rear of overflow lot, which puts them all in the back and not leaving boat trailers parked all in the main area. That's just signs up there to help inform them, visual aids and stuff like that, just to make it a little bit easier for everybody.
So those options don't cost us any more. If we run into a holiday or something, maybe we would have to hire a detail or something if we wanted to go that route. I don't want to be construed as the long arm of the law. People don't pay their $10, but we can utilize those funds to offset the revenue coming in for that to pay for things at the boat ramp. Like maybe we want a wash down station one day, or maybe we come up with something else that we want. We do have a premier boat ramp, so I just want to make sure that I'm getting the right direction from all of you in one voice.
Well, I want to finish me up. I've said it to you personally. I want to be on the record. I do not want our boat ramp to be a cash register. We've got a lot of things in this town, the amenities that we have, and I'm not looking for our police department to be stationed at the boat ramp about somebody that doesn't pay a daggum $10 ticket. And if they beat us, they beat us. But I'm not looking to strong arm every car that goes down there. I'm looking for us to be the kind of community that we say we are. And that fact we put a $150 fine on there, I'm not looking to see how many we collected each month, okay? I just want to be clear. I'd be more interested if we were as concerned about the dogs on the beach, which I get 10 calls a week about. And so maybe we put a flashing sign somewhere about no dogs on the beach. And I say that I don't mean that to be, but I am not going to support, and I don't want to be a part of a council or city that thinks that just because we put a fine down there, that we want to go down there and walk the parking lot and spend time checking every daggone car. If we can do it occasionally and ride through like we do everything else, and that's my take on it.
Yes.
I don't know about everybody else here. I guess that's you want us
problem.
all to say
That's my
this is
problem.
what you want to do.
That's my problem. Yes, sir.
What is your problem?
I get different signals that says go enforce it, don't enforce it. So I need to be clear, otherwise I can't act.
Well, we don't stop every speeding car in town. I'm confused. I'll be honest with you. Maybe there's more direction, and I just don't understand.
I can see, well, I don't want to be a cash out, but to my opinion, we don't really have a problem, but between now and snapper season, if we asked up to Marty, Mr. Williams, the lieutenant, and Doug, to enforce or put the word out that if we are going to have, we're going to enforce for $10 to park a boat. And most of these boats is in over $20,000. I don't see why that's going to hurt anybody. Now, the fine might be a little hefty, $150 fine, but until we get some of its attention, and then for a couple of months, what you're going to have to do, then I don't think we have any problem at all. So let's don't go down there. You're not going to send nobody down there anyways, standing there all day long to enforce the thing. Just ride through and see if we got, that's what I'm going to say.
That's what we would do.
That's what we do.
Okay. Well, I guess I don't, okay. So we're gonna police that like we police our city.
You just ride through it and see if it,
Well, then
they've got the tickets and that.
I guess I'm just totally confused.
Well, we look at it two different ways. With the police department, the sheriffs, going through like they would go through the streets or whatever. I mean, it's not like people's gonna be.
Well, that's not what we'll see. He needs some direction, as if we have to specifically say how we want it done. Why don't we just police it like we do everything else? Well, we ride through and see a few. Y'all gonna stay out there an hour, 2 hours? I mean, is that something wrong with that?
Up to him and do like we've been doing, but let Marty do it.
Well, that's what I thought we
write
were
the
doing.
tickets or whatever we got to do.
You got anything else on that?
No, we'll continue to police it.
Okay.
Write the ticket.
Is that okay if you, Marty, give us?
Yes, sir. But there doesn't seem to be a problem putting a sign up, though. Just put a sign up and say, hey, pay $10.
All right, you good? Thank you. You good? All right, good. What else you got?
Project list.
All right, project list.
All right, we did talk about a few of these going down the list here. The 8th Street bathrooms, so the DEP permit was signed off on last week for the CCCL line, so they're working on approval for that to build those back. The 15th Street bridge repairs, the bid is due on April the 21st, so we're waiting to get those bids back. The additional boat ramp parking, we discussed that earlier, it's looking good. The boat ramp expansion, Dewberry submitted the grant app submitted on March 30th, 2022, approximately $500,000 worth of improvements, which includes a 10% match from the city. So those funds would come from the boat ramp. Bypass pumps, we've designs are being done by Dewberry in the Panama City office, and they're working with our utility department. That's for those 3 lift station generators. Canal dredging, the survey is underway. As of the 10th, there was approximately 20,000 cubic yards, which was estimated by Crowder Gulf. Dewberry actually had their surveyors here yesterday in the water to verify their numbers. We worked on some stoppage numbers so that we could actually not go over. So we're working through that process with those guys. They've been great to work with. And thank you to Dewberry for on-the-spot surveying. I know it's a busy time for you guys. Citywide stormwater repairs, we discussed that item earlier. Thank you for your direction. Citywide street paving, we had approximately $200,000 left, of which they're working to finish up now on the bid that was approved probably back in August of last year. And that includes 23rd Street to be finished. They're going to Sleepy Hollow, and then they've got some cleanup to do around the city as well. We'll work on those on a punch list. DOT right away, actually we're going to remove this one after this meeting. They have finished everything on 98 for the north side shoulder work is completed. The dredge purchase, we do understand that everything is going along. It's expected for December of 23. The jetty permits were submitted, and we're waiting on the Army Corps for the jetty, so that would help us significantly with our dredging should we get that process going. So we're actively trying to keep going forward with that project.
When do you expect that permit?
There's no timetable on the Army Corps.
I shouldn't ask.
They don't give you one of those ones that say we got 90 days or something. I wish I had a better answer. I don't. Everything's turned in. Okay. Manhole covers are waterproofed. We worked with the vendor on a start date to get those items squared away. Thank you for your support there. The marina, boat ramp, pavilions, and fish cleaning stations. So just as a heads up, they're working on the table for the fish cleaning station. They're fabricating that build. With the boat ramp pavilion, the metal roof are scheduled to be delivered later this week, and the contractor will be installing them next week. The floor decking and handrails are currently underway. That'll be a big step forward as soon as those are done. And then the siding installation next week will be going around the outside of the bathrooms there at that pavilion. At the canal pavilion, the concrete column pour was this week on the 11th. They took care of the finishing that. They're working on the forms, on the aesthetic concrete the rest of this week and next. And framing is scheduled for the 19th over there. So they'll finish at one side and go to the other side. So those three items are moving along. The marina boat slips, we are actually working on a new bid to go out. I don't have anything more to report on that. The bid that we received was too large, so we're having to come up with a better way to bid that item. We bid it as a design build, and I think maybe we need to be a little more specific so we don't leave the door open for some pricing, so we're working on that. Parker Park, I'm actively working with Dewberry to take in the citizens' comments from the forum that we had recently to bring that back to the council with some options to move forward. Just remember, as this thing, and I'm trying to move this quickly because the FEMA money project is on hold while we're waiting on the design. We don't want to build something and have to move it, so we're trying to take in all that to perspective to bring back to you so that we can continue moving forward for the bathrooms, the fences, the parking things. The Parker Park waterway, that item, I did hear back from the contractor that was going to be asking the DEP related to filling in that waterway, and he did get a very good response back from the DEP based on the number of credits and things that he has built in with his permits for the whole Sweetwater area in the back, that he could just include that with his permit, and in 6 months we could have that thing filled in once they get done. So it's it'd be at their expense. So that was a very good, if that's the route we go, that's a very good option for us to expand that by another acre. The pier permits were submitted. Everything's in. We're waiting to hear back. They asked some questions. We clarified those. We should be good to go on everything that's turned in for the pier. I've asked Mr. Hemphill to be here next week, or excuse me, in 2 weeks for the council meeting to kind of give an update on us and ask any questions you guys might have. He'll be prepared to put here. We also have a sign that's going to go down at the pier to give a little more hope, so you can kind of see what it's going to look like down there at the end of the road by that walkway that the Public Works Department just put together there for people to go out. It'll show a little picture of the old pier, the new pier, sponsored by FEMA and Mexico Beach, and it'll look really nice, and it'll give some folks this summer thinking about what could be happening next year. So that is a feel-good thing. The pier parking lot's also going to come off this list. That is done. The striping's done. They finished the handicap park yesterday. We have to remember we have to pay for that up front, and then Ryan's going to work on reimbursement as part of the pier fund. So we will go back after that money. He spoke a little bit about the police and fire station and municipal building under review by FEMA. Our street lights, so they've got approximately 30 of them up so far down in the areas of Colorado and California and in that end of town, 5th Street, 7th Street, so they've got quite a few over there. We're on the agenda for Canal Parkway is on the schedule. I don't have a date yet, but they're going to replace some of those lights, straighten some of the leaning ones, get it cleaned up for us, which will be good timing to get that done before the paving and all that kind of stuff. So that's actively pushing forward. Plus, I'm going to meet with the gentleman and go over the next section of town to start getting some more lights put up in there as well. So we're keeping that going forward. Sunset Park, they're still on track to be done on Memorial Day weekend. He told me if I'd be sitting out there with a margarita or something looking at the Memorial Day weekend to be done with that project. So Bonovic's doing a great job over there moving forward, but they've actually ate up all their contingency time. But they're still expected to be done by Memorial Day, so that they just weather and products and stuff like that kind of eating up any buffer that they had, but they're still on schedule for that day. You'll see a lot more focused on the site work coming up. They're going to start laying down the lime rock, start working on setting up for pavement. The pavilion is a critical path of getting the roof decking on, getting it dried in so they can paint and install the fixtures. They actually had the roof up yesterday, so they'll start laying the plywood down and getting that going. So that's looking very positive for us. The surge gate, no progress made on that yet. Under the Palms Park, we just got received back approval for the FERDAP grant. The $50,000 was approved. This is to deal with the exercise equipment and things like that around the rest of the park, not the FEMA portion, but what we're going to do to add on around the outside of the park with the exercise and around that walkway and things like that. So we'll start moving forward on plans for that. Underwater debris removal. So this is a NIFWIF grant. Brian has actually reaching out to those folks to get a little more update. We haven't heard anything back in a little while, but the grant was all submitted and it's under review, so we'll find out where we stand. The volleyball nets for the volleyball on the beach. The nets the net is ordered to be here this any day now. There was a problem with shipping, and we'll get that set up and have that action ready for the summertime there. So, if there's any questions on any of the projects that we've got going along, I kind of rolled through them pretty quickly. But if there's one that you have specific questions on, I'm available to answer. But I think all in all, the staff and everybody is continuing to work hard to keep moving forward, and I know you guys got your foot on the gas, and I got my foot on the gas, and we're just pushing to get amenities back for our residents, just like everybody wants. So,
Questions on the project list? Thank you. Mr. Turner, you got anything?
No, I don't, Mayor.
Okay. Doug, you're up again.
So hopefully the city manager's biweekly report that you guys are getting has kind of taken the burden off some of the reports you receive at our meetings, and I appreciate the staff. I don't write all those myself, but I make sure I pass them along to you guys. So if you have any specific questions, you can always come back to me and bring them up at the meeting. So I appreciate that opportunity. It allows the staff to be out in the field continuing some of those items. In addition to that, this Saturday, there's supposed to be an Easter Bunny sighting at Under the Palms Park. There should be some good times from Saturday the 16th from 10 to 12. We're going to have Mexico Beach Sweets has sponsored it. I think 3,000 eggs. So Jerry, you and Jake will be finding eggs for a couple weeks. But there'll be 3,000 eggs down there, and we're a great partner with Mexico Beach Sweets. They took care of this all on their own. They're making sure the Easter Bunny shows up on time. We have a couple bounce houses that are going to be here. It should be a really good time that morning, and Tommy's allowed me to use his hot dog roller so we can make some hot dogs and give them away. So it'll be a nice morning right before Easter at Under the Palms Park, and I look forward to it. The last thing to go about is Arbor Day. We spoke a little bit about it earlier. Don't forget that's on April 30th. It'll be at Parker Park. If you haven't noticed, we're making use of our trailer that we received for the Canal Parkway bathroom at Under the Palms, and thank you to the Public Works Department staying late last week to get that ready for the farmers market this past weekend. But it's set up. They built some stairs into it. We still have one on the ground in case somebody needs to get into one on the ground. But that is a nice addition to have actual bathrooms with running water, and it's got air conditioning in it, and the deputies are going to help us lock it up at night and open in the morning. So it's nice to start moving forward with things like that. So that's all I have to say.
Good. Bob?
One thing, Daryl, shared everything they've done, their service, the hard work they've done to help the city survive and go through. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Bob.
Gary, I said the same thing, both of you.
Thank you.
I love it.
I love you too, but I can't help it.
I think we've done well. I think we all done well. Agree to disagree. Yep. For the two avenues y'all been here, and I'm you've been well with the city. Very well.
I've got a couple things. First, I want to comment about a part of the agenda that comes in the beginning, which is citizens' comments. There's a procedure for that, and we've been pretty lax about it. I have as the chair about time, but the purpose of citizens' comments is not a question and answer period between you and us. It is simply for you to come to the podium and address whatever your comments are concerning the citizens. Concerning the city. It requires no response, even though most of the time we as a council attempt to, within some time restraints, but when you bring a question to the council that is something that can be handled or should be handled through the administrator in terms of detail or information about a certain thing, then that's the way it should be handled. It shouldn't be brought to this table at citizens' comments and expect a response. So I just want to clarify the reasoning of having citizens' comments on the agenda is not for us to get to have dialogue back and forth about that unless we choose to do so. That's every council person's prerogative, of course, to answer if they choose to. But that's not the reason it's on the agenda. Second, want to just share Deanne Criswell, the administrator for FEMA, visited our city 6 weeks ago, give or take. I received a personal letter from her, and she acknowledges not only thanking us as a city for meeting them and greeting them and sharing with them, but she says that she is taking some of our suggestions back to their delegation at certain areas within the FEMA organization to look at some things that she found out here. And I just want to share to those who had an opportunity to meet with her. You don't always get the administrator of FEMA show up in Mexico Beach. But she took the time to write a letter. So I'm going to leave this in Doug's office and he can share it with those of you that would not to see. And last of all, to Darrell and Sherry, thank you. After the meeting today, for those who might want to stop over in the conference room, there's going to be just a little cake gathering, opportunity to say hello or goodbye and thank you for what you've done, but I hope y'all will come over there and be a part of that. Doug's, I guess that's been arranged?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Well, I just wanted those of,
Gotta have cake.
I didn't, yeah, cake, you can't go without cake. But y'all done remarkable, and I appreciate your time and your energy and your effort.
Thank you.
Okay, anything?
Yes, sir. I'm glad that I had the opportunity to serve Mexico Beach. We got a lot of stuff done, and I think most of it was done right. I'm pretty sure it was. And I'm going to go outside my boundary as a councilman and say that, you know, these times, these are the last days, y'all. Don't forget about the good Lord and keep Him in mind at all times. I always pray that before every meeting that He would give us direction and we would do things according to His will. But these are tough times, so these are not easy times to sit on the council or in any kind of government. But with that said, we have got a new pickleball court, and so things are going well. Thank you for the help and the friendly comments and the support from those citizens that gave you that.
Go ahead.
I'm just very happy to have served on the council. I've learned a lot. I've tried, in my mind, to do what I thought would be the best for the city. People who work for the city are really quite amazing to me. We have so many people that are such good assets to have in the city. Look at that one.
Yeah,
And that one. I mean, everybody just, you know, they're very professional on their job and caring. And not too busy to talk to you and try to help you. You know, and I think that's what Mexico Beach is about. And I thank everyone. Truly I do.
Motion for adjournment.
Those moved.